Hey everyone, today I'm diving into a pressing issue that deserves our attention. We're talking about the aftermath of the US withdrawal from Afghanistan and the heart-wrenching stories of the Afghan heroes left behind. Imagine this. For 2 decades, Afghan commandos fought side by side with US forces in the global war on terror. They shed their blood, laid down their lives, and stood shoulder to shoulder with American soldiers in the global war on terror. The Doha Agreement was signed and these brave warriors were abandoned. The US withdrawal left a void the Taliban swiftly filled with violence and instability. Former Afghan soldiers, interpreters, special forces and commandos are now facing persecution, death threats and worse. The Taliban's targeting of these individuals highlights their utter disregard for the rule of law and human rights. Our former allies are targeted, arrested, kidnapped, tortured and murdered. According to official reports, more than 800 so far. Women in all professions have had their rights severely curtailed, and the international community has expressed deep concern over this deteriorating situation. The Biden administration faced harsh criticism for how it handled the retrograde withdrawal, many arguing the US has a moral obligation to protect those who supported its mission in Afghanistan. Now, let's talk about the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan. It's become a flashpoint for violence, with frequent clashes between Pakistani forces and militants. The Pakistani military accuses the Afghan Taliban of harboring and supporting these militants, including the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, responsible for numerous attacks within Pakistan. The tensions have led to the closure of key border crossings, disrupting trade, and worsening the humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan. Essential goods are unable to reach those in need, further exacerbating the dire conditions. The international community calls for restraint and dialogue, but the situation remains volatile and dangerous. The humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan is nothing short of catastrophic. Millions of Afghans face food insecurity, displacement, and a lack of access to essential services. The situation is particularly dire for women and children, and if aid is curtailed, many will die this winter. The international community has pledged billions in aid, but the delivery is hampered by the Taliban's control and ongoing security concerns. The United Nations warns that Afghanistan is on the brink of a humanitarian catastrophe and the economy is nearing collapse. Despite its withdrawal, the US continues to provide humanitarian aid. Engagement is not endorsement, but critics argue it's not enough anyway. The root causes of the crisis, despite being highlighted in multiple reports submitted to Congress, including the Taliban's human rights abuses and support for terrorist groups, remain largely unaddressed. America has granted visas, SIVs, P1 and P2, but the pace of issuance is glacial, and it's costing human lives. The Taliban's allowance of safe havens for terrorist training camps is a growing concern, contributing to rising international terrorism. America has failed to uphold its promise to the brave warriors left behind. Justice delayed is justice denied. Abandoned on a battlefield with our vicious common enemy, these heroes now live in constant fear of kidnap and murder. It's time for us to act, call Congress, demand action, and save the Afghan commandos who fought bravely by our side throughout the global war on terror. How many more combat veterans need to be murdered before we step up to save their lives? Demand the United States uphold the terms of the Doha Agreement now to regain their stature as global superpower and leader of the free world. Save our brothers in arms. Thanks for watching. Please don't stay silent. Like and share this video.